I love WIC.
Me encanta WIC, apoya mucho,
They are supportive
es útil,
and they're so helpful.
coma sanamente,
Eat fruits and vegetables.
su bebé es importante.
So eat healthy. The baby is important. Exercise regularly.
Del embarazo al nacimiento,
From pregnancy to birth, put your nutrition first. Breastfeeding is the best choice.
dar pecho, la mejor opción.
Yeah, WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor, el programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.
Hello, and welcome to the WIC Show, the show about WIC, for WIC, and by WIC. I'm Alana Samuel. On today's show, tips on how to improve your shopping experience with WIC checks. And we'll tell you why it's good to wear your baby. Plus, in the WIC kitchen, Vici shares a healthy, tasty meal your kids are sure to love. We start today's show talking about postpartum depression. Although it's not uncommon for some new moms to experience mild depression right after giving birth, for some new moms, that depression can become severe and last months. The WIC Show's Paola Laverde tells us more.
Becoming a new mom can bring on challenges you may not expect. During the first 2 weeks after giving birth, you may feel anxious, have trouble sleeping, be sad, or irritable. This is commonly known as the baby blues. But after 2 weeks, if you still have the blues, then you could have postpartum depression.
Postpartum depression is depression. It just happens to happen after the postpartum period.
Dr. Sandra Torrente is an OBGYN at Kaiser Permanente, San Francisco. She says a new mom can be diagnosed with postpartum depression up to 12 months after giving birth. She stresses there's a combination of factors that put women at risk for this illness.
You have a hormonal change from having a drop in all the hormones after being pregnant. You have this huge life event, which is the birth of a child, and then you are exhausted.
Women who have a history of depression before pregnancy are most at risk for postpartum depression. So make sure to tell your doctor if you have a history of depression when you get pregnant. Another risk factor, being in an abusive relationship.
Because this is like this grand time in your life where you should be excited and you want to share it. And so many times women who are in abusive relationships end up feeling like it's not this beautiful thing, but more of a stressful situation. And so they're at risk of having postpartum depression.
Symptoms for postpartum depression may include loss of appetite, intense anger and irritability, difficulty sleeping, no emotions for the baby, thoughts of harming yourself or the baby. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, make sure to talk with your doctor because he or she can provide you with ways to relieve the pain.
There are the biological factors that we can give women, including medicine, behavioral changes. There's the emotional support or psychological, which would be group therapy. And then lastly, nutrition. So we want to make sure that women are eating appropriately, sleeping appropriately, avoiding alcohol, avoiding cigarettes. But again, I emphasize the support. The support network is important.
That support can come from your partner, family members, or moms groups. Dr. Torrente also suggests that depressed moms get some sun because sunlight does help you feel better. So go outside or sit by a window with open curtains or blinds. And getting enough sleep and eating right is important.
Because you're focused on taking care of a child and not taking care of yourself. So I try to tell women they have to continue to take care of themselves to be better moms.
For the WIC Show, I'm Paola Laverde.
If you're feeling depressed, make sure to talk to your WIC counselor for referrals in your area. And if you're breastfeeding, be sure to talk to your WIC breastfeeding counselor about how breastfeeding can help you bond with your baby and help you feel better too. In our next segment, a WIC mom shares her experience with postpartum depression in her own words.
My name is Kenya. I'm 21 years old, and I have a 3-year-old son named Danon. I was diagnosed with postpartum depression about 7 or 8 months after giving birth. My pregnancy was very stressful. My stress was caused from my child's father being absent. The day after we graduated high school, he left to go to another state, and he didn't return back until I was about a month before my due date. Basically just being pregnant by myself. And then I was young. I was 17 when I got pregnant and 18 when I had my son. So a lot of my family really didn't support me. And at the end of my pregnancy, I had to be on bed rest for about 2 more months because I went into preterm labor. It slightly depressed me. I tried to show a tough face and make it seem like things that were happening weren't bothering me, but definitely it affected me a lot. I kind of felt like nobody was in my corner and I was just alone. Before my pregnancy, I had a lot of issues with my mother. So I'm not gonna say that it depressed me a lot because I always found a way to cope with my stress. I was even in high school, I did everything. I was a cheerleader, I played softball, I was on mock trial, I ran track. So even though I had stress, I still found ways to cope with it through my school activities. After I gave birth to Danon, me and my child's father were living at my mom's house, and things got a little bit more stressful because I felt vibes that my mother didn't want me there anymore. And then I was very broke. I didn't have a job, and I was on, government assistance, and my relationship was pretty wobbly. It seemed to me like I was the only one who was trying to act like an adult. I know that we both had the child out of high school, but it seemed like I was just growing up a little faster than my partner was. When Danon was about 7 months old, I started taking some college courses, trying to expedite my college degree. So I was trying to take a lot of classes and trying to make sure that my living situation was okay and trying to manage my relationship and trying to manage a child. And it just kind of got way too overwhelming for me. I started getting more sensitive about little things that usually wouldn't bother me, crying a lot, blaming myself and feeling like I made a mistake, not wanting my child anymore, not being motivated to do anything. I stopped going to school and I started missing classes, started not doing my assignments, and I've always been a good academic person, so that was real abnormal for me. I was sleeping a little bit, but for most days I was up till like 3 or 4 in the morning and then had to still get up early because the baby was up. I was driving one day and I felt like I wanted to drive off the bridge. And it was very scary for me because I had never had those types of suicidal thoughts like that before in my life, where I felt like I had to talk to somebody. I tried talking to my family about it, and my family suggested that nothing was wrong with me. I was tripping. I was doing it for attention. So I had this counselor, and I called her one day, and I told her, something is wrong with me. And she had been following me and Danon since Danon was born. So now he's 7, 8 months. And she gave me this assessment test. The assessment was a series of questions about like suicide and about a lot of emotions and how I felt about certain things. And the results of the assessment was that I could possibly have a case of postpartum depression. What helped me get better from my postpartum depression was the first thing, just stopping everything. So stopping school, kind of stepping back from my relationship. Those types of things helped me feel like I didn't have so many things on my back. Shortly after that, I got in contact with a therapist that was in the area locally, and I saw her 1 or 2 times a week. She was a great listener. She had a lot of good communication skills, and she was able to just let me talk, which is something that I think I didn't get a chance to do for so long because I was too busy trying to please everybody else. That she gave me a voice and allowed me to just speak and get things off my chest. And she kind of reassured me that she heard me, and that I had a voice and that everything was going to be better. The advice that I would give to any mother who is experiencing postpartum depression is just to get help, know that it's okay for you to be feeling that way, and it is reversible. Therapy is not a bad thing at all because we all get stressed and need to talk to somebody. If you've had a baby and you feel like something is not right, definitely consider that you may be depressed.
When you're pregnant, your baby feels safe and secure. Did you know that by wearing your baby, you can give her that same feeling of security after she's born? And did you know there are many other reasons to wear your baby? The WIC Show's Robin Ng explains.
Parents love wearing their babies, which simply means carrying them close to your body in a baby carrier. Wearing your baby is easier on your back and arms, and less awkward than carrying your baby around in a car seat. Plus, when you wear your baby, he feels comforted because he feels like he's back in his mom's womb. But there are many other reasons why you'd want to wear your baby. Baby wearing gives you easy access to breastfeeding, which helps maintain a great milk supply. With baby wearing, nursing in public is easy and discreet. Some feel that it strengthens their bond with their baby.
I like having him close to me, and I think he likes being close. I like having him close to my face so we can look at each other, and he's just less separate from me, so it just feels better.
Other parents are more productive.
I wear Riley because it's easier to do things with both hands while I still have him strapped on. It also keeps him curious and interested in the things that I may be doing, such as folding laundry or occasionally washing dishes.
Parents also experience other meaningful effects of baby wearing.
I think he enjoys it a lot. He's since I have been carrying him like this, I've noticed he sometimes gives me signals when he wants to be bounced a little bit more.
That's because baby wearing helps you tune into your baby's movements, gestures, and facial expressions. So you're better able to read what your baby needs. But your baby may not be as needy because baby wearing reduces their level of stress hormone. So your baby will cry less often.
He also will fall asleep on me and rest for a few moments or even transition into a nap from this position.
Yes, your baby will be more comfortable while he sleeps because he feels warm, secure, and loved. And while he's awake, baby wearing will promote his neurological development.
He's closer to eye level with me. He's more quietly alert about what's going on. He's more interested in the world. He can see more from up here. He can see people. He doesn't just see the tops of trees and skies. And he's more involved in the world when he's up.
All babies and parents love baby wearing.
Yeah, I love it. We keep each other warm.
I love it. It makes me feel as if this is exactly what I should be doing, and nothing gives me more joy.
So why not give it a try and wear your baby? For the WIC Show, I'm Robin Ng.
Coming up next on the WIC Show, when's the best time to go shopping with your WIC checks? Find out. I'll be right back.
WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor, el programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.
The average person eats almost 100 pounds of sugar a year. All of the sugar leads to extra calories, which leads to extra weight. It's no wonder the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say that 2 out of every 3 Americans are overweight or obese. Obesity puts you and your children at risk for diabetes, heart disease, cancer, hypertension, dyslipidemia, stroke, osteoarthritis, liver, and gallbladder disease. The single biggest source of the sugar is from sugary drinks. How much sugar is in these drinks? 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon. The average 20-ounce bottle of soda has about 29 grams of sugar per serving, or just over 7 teaspoons of sugar. These sodas usually offer more than 2 servings per bottle. So if you drink this whole bottle, you're really getting 73 grams of sugar. Divide that by 4, and you'll see that you are actually eating a little over 18 teaspoons of sugar. Instead of all this sugar, what does your body really need? Water. Water is all your body needs for hydration and for it to work properly. A healthy way of flavoring your water is by adding slices of fruit like melon, strawberries, lemon, lime, and even cucumber. So rethink your drink and pick water.
WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor, el programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.
Welcome back to the WIC Show. I'm Alana Samuel. Grocery shopping can sometimes be a challenging experience. In our next story, we get tips on how to ease that challenge and get the most from our WIC checks.
Hi, I'm Robin Ng, a WIC nutritionist. The best way to take advantage of all the food WIC has to offer is by breastfeeding. That's because WIC will give a breastfeeding mom a deluxe food package for up to 12 months. Now that's a lot of food. The question is, how can you make the most out of your WIC checks? Well, Daima Wakia is here to tell us. She's a former WIC mom, community leader, activist, and caterer. Part of her activism is sharing knowledge on surviving on a limited income. Daima, you're successfully raising a family with 2 kids.
Yes, and WIC was one of the more helpful programs that provided me with nutrition education and also helped supplement my food for my family. I was also a breastfeeding mom, which means they gave me a lot of food.
So how did you make the most out of your WIC checks?
Well, I started with preparation. First, before I even left the house, I made sure that I did a food check so that I wasn't grabbing items that I didn't need or using vouchers that I didn't want to use at that particular time. I also checked my vouchers carefully to make sure that I had the proper amount of items. I don't want to forget that you also need to have your WIC guide with you at all times. That is key.
So how about while you're going shopping? It can be so overwhelming.
Yeah, it's all about timing and organization.
Timing and organization. Tell me more about timing.
What I found was that going to the store first thing in the morning while the shelves are properly stocked and also there are fewer people there would be the best thing for everybody to do. Even if you're a working mom, go on the weekends because it's the same rule of thumb. First thing in the morning, and you're able to get in and out of there.
Okay, and what if you have small children?
Strap them to your back, make sure that they have a snack, and everybody's happy.
Great, so tell me more about being organized while shopping with your WIC checks.
Well, what you want to do, again, what is key is having that WIC guide with you because it saves a lot of time in making sure that you're not taking non-WIC items to the counter because that can be a headache for you and the cashier. You also want to make sure that your basket is organized according to the vouchers that you have because that also saves a lot of time. Baby food, for example, you're getting like 24 jars per voucher. So it helped me to make sure that I had all of those jars in one particular corner of the basket so I can hurry up and jam them on the counter so the cashier can get through them quickly.
That's excellent advice, Daima. So let's say we have all of that down. Now all I have to work on is saving money. Do you have any tips on getting the most bang for your buck?
Actually, I do, Robin. First of all, you want to make sure that you do not let your WIC vouchers expire because you lose a lot of money that way. And if you have the produce vouchers, you want to make sure that you go to a store with a greater variety to get fresh seasonal fruits and vegetables because you save a lot of money that way. They're usually less expensive. And if you don't want to get those that are in season, then you have the option of getting those that are frozen. And they last a bit longer, so you save money that way as well. And if you're a breastfeeding mom getting an abundance of milk and you're not able to get through it in that month, you have the option of getting milk that's in a can and also powdered milk. And you can refer to the WIC guide to show you how to do that.
Yes, that's a good point. Breastfeeding moms get a lot more food. So thank you so much, Daima, for joining me here on the WIC Show.
Thank you for having me, Robin.
You're welcome. So you've heard it all from the mouth of an experienced WIC shopper. Be prepared before you go shopping, shop at the right time, be organized, and don't forget those money-saving tips. I'm Robin Ng for the WIC Show. Thanks for watching.
Now let's go into the WIC kitchen with our chef VG, who shares a recipe for asparagus roll-ups.
Hi, this is Vijay and welcome to the WIC Kitchen. We are going to make asparagus roll-ups today and we're going to get started first by washing our hands and putting on an apron. You can sing happy birthday to yourself to wash your hands. That's how long you should wash them. So let's get started. We're going to caramelize some onions. We're going to take off the part that's above ground, and we're going to leave the root intact. We're going to peel back that first layer. Just the first layer is necessary. And big chunks are okay. Keep your fingers turned under. Okay, let's place this in a bowl. We're going to caramelize the onions. We're going to add a bit of garlic. Give it a good smash. Comes right out. You can also grate your garlic. That's an easy way to do. But you know, the smaller you cut your garlic, the more potent it is. Okay, let's get the asparagus ready. A lot of times asparagus is very tough towards the end. And for you to get the tender part, bend it and let it break where it just naturally bends. See this one? Where it's bending? Not too small, not too big. Okay, we'll get our onions on, starting to caramelize, and then we'll come back and chop rest our vegetables. Okay, now we will caramelize our onions over medium-high heat. Heat up a skillet and add about a tablespoon of oil. You don't need much more. We're just going to stir these around until they become translucent. That means that you can see light through them. And the reason you don't want to add your garlic at this time, garlic has a tendency to burn. So you put your garlic in once your onions have sauteed to the right point. You can cook these onions for a good half hour if you'd like, and the flavor really comes through. They caramelize. Onions have a lot of sugar in them, and it's released through all this heat, and they caramelize beautifully. But today we're going to leave them at this stage, and we're going to throw in our asparagus. And if it seems to stick, add a bit of water. Do not add more oil. And you want to cook this only until the asparagus is al dente. That means so it still has a bite to it. You don't want it soft. Now we'll add a bit of pepper. Remember I said that freshly ground pepper is a blessing. Okay, we're ready to let this cool and to go chop rest our vegetables for our roll-up. Our asparagus mixture is finished cooking, and we're not going to use salt. We are going to use lemon juice to highlight the freshness of this dish. And now we let this cool and prepare our other vegetables. First thing, let's grate a carrot. Okay, there's our carrots. And we're going to have some tomatoes. And let's slice our tomatoes. Take your 2 lids, preferably from your yogurt containers or cottage cheese or anything else that you have takeout containers. Okay, you want to put a little pressure on here and then just take your knife and go all the way through. Now you have your halved tomatoes. Another item that we can add, black olives. Okay, our next item we're going to prepare is a cucumber. This is called an English cucumber, usually a hothouse cucumber. And the peel is quite okay to eat. The other cucumbers that we have, a lot of times the peel is very bitter. But what you should do is take off a piece of the peel, taste it, and then if it's not bitter, go ahead and use it because there's a lot of nutrition in the peel. And make sure you wash all your vegetables and your fruits. Okay, then we're going to do a bit of lettuce. We're going to use romaine. And we're going to do our chiffonade. And shred that. That will give some crunch to our roll-up too, along with the cucumber. And our last item is cilantro. And that doesn't have to be cut up too fine. Cilantro, I usually leave kind of medium whole. You have a good taste of that. Okay, we are ready to do our roll-up. Whole wheat tortilla. Now this is something I mixed up before we started, and it's cream cheese, but it's light cream cheese. So it has 1/3 less calories. And I've mixed it with some salsa. Not homemade salsa, just the salsa in the jar is fine. We're going to spread some cream cheese that's been mixed with the salsa. Okay, let's start with some lettuce. And then some carrots. Okay, let's add some cucumber, some more crunch. And tomato, and some olives. And go light on the olives. A lot of sodium in these. And now we're going to put on our asparagus mixture here and the onions. I may have put too much goodies on here for a roll-up, but we'll try. Okay. These make great appetizers too for a party. I hope you enjoyed watching me do this demo for you with the roll-ups. And use your imagination. Use any vegetable that's in season. Use leftover beans. Use leftover chicken. And it's a very easy, delicious meal. Thank you for joining me. I'm Viji, and I'll see you the next time in the WIC Kitchen.
And here's the nose.
Yeah, that's my guy. I'm gonna make you feel all better now.
The end.
It's so easy to make a child happy.
That's all for the WIC Show. On behalf of us here at the Alameda County WIC program, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Alana Samuel. Until we meet again.
I love WIC.
Me encanta WIC. Apoya mucho.
They are supportive.
Es útil.
And they're so helpful.
Coma sanamente.
Eat fruits and vegetables.
Su bebé es importante.
So eat healthy. The baby is important. Exercise regularly.
Del embarazo al nacimiento.
From pregnancy to birth, put your nutrition first. Breastfeeding is the best choice.
Dar pecho, la mejor opción.
Yeah, WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor. El programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.